Everyone, welcome to our last summary of the HSAM 1800 class. Just wanted to take a few moments to go through a few of our quiz questions from last week. So good job on the quiz. Generally, folks got really good grades, so there are only a few questions to go through. So the first question, actually the first two are kind of related to one another. First question is true or false? Communication effectiveness depends primarily on the content of the message. And that question is false. And what this question was getting at was regarding there were in the text it talks a little bit about some macro and micro models of the communication process. And I'm actually going to flip back here for a second about how it's not really in these communication effectiveness models or communication effectiveness in general. It's not just about the content of the message, but about determining the sender, appropriate sender, your objectives, designing communications, getting feedback. It's not just about the content of the message. You could have excellent content, but if you're not, getting it to the right target market, or if you're not analyzing, maybe piloting it, analyzing that message, how the market is receiving it. It's more than just that initial step of getting great content. So it's really having effective communication is more than just great content in the message. And that's really what these models are about. So be sure to not only have great content, that's an important piece, and develop that effectively. Make it, if it's a print ad, it needs to be an attractive print ad, or maybe if it's a social media message, it needs to be clever. It needs to be targeted at the right audience. If you're sending, if you're looking to get to the 65 and over population, you probably don't want to send that via social media. If you're looking to get to the 18 to 30-year-old population, you probably don't want to send that via direct mail, etc. But you also need to just take a look at the whole picture, and all of those pieces are important. So the answer to that was false. The second question, developing effective marketing communication starts with knowing the product or service. So again, this ties back to that same piece as before. Really the first step to developing effective marketing communication is identifying your target audience. Who are you looking to have this communication go to? Who do you want to have that piece of communication? Is it that 18 to 30 population? Is it 65 and over? Identify that target audience, and that's really going to be your best first step to having a very effective marketing communication. So our answer to that question was false as well. Third question, this is true or false as well. The oldest form of direct marketing is the newspaper ad. And the answer here was false. It talks, there's a whole section, actually there's almost an entire chapter, talks about direct marketing, different types of direct marketing. But the oldest form of direct marketing was actually the sales call. It does talk about that in the text. And if you're kind of concentrated on, say, the hospital market or the physician practice market, you might think, well, physicians aren't going to go out and send people out to do sales calls. But think about pharmaceuticals, especially if you're working in a physician practice. They do sales calls all the time. But also think about vendors. Vendors do sales calls, obviously pharmaceutical vendors, but medical device vendors, but also vendors for other medical settings. So it could be an electronic health records vendor. It could be vendors of other types of, you could be trying to sell advanced imaging machines. All types of folks in the healthcare setting rely on direct sales to make their living. So although hospitals might not be sending folks out to try and sell their services via direct sales, there is a large part of our marketplace that thrives on direct sales. And all you really need to do is spend one day in a physician practice to realize that there's probably I think, what are they, about 25% of our overall expenditures in the healthcare setting, which is the pharmaceutical market, that thrives on direct sales. So that direct sales, being that oldest form of marketing, direct marketing, still a very huge part of the healthcare marketplace. So really important. So an important element to understand from our textbook as well. Week 8 is a short week. Don't forget that. Ends on Friday. So any of the assignments from this week, make sure that you're getting them all set and submitted by Friday night. I think there's a couple discussion boards, obviously our summary, etc. for this week. So there's a quiz this week, perhaps, in there as well. So make sure that you're getting those things set by Friday. Any questions on anything that we've had, please obviously don't hesitate to ask. I will be working hard this week on getting your project set and graded. Any of you that are in an internship that ends, I'm pretty sure some of you are. So if you're in an HSA internship who completed your 120 hours this term, make sure that you're getting your internship final paper in. If you are in my internships, make sure that you're getting your internship final papers in by Friday as well. And if you are in with Dr. Hampe, make sure that you're talking with her about what her requirements are. But if you're in my internship, make sure that your final paper is in by Friday, or that you've already talked to me about what the arrangements are going to be. And you can just email those to me. So if you are an HSA student, I hope to, if you're all done, congrats. I know that we have a couple who are done this fall. If you are continuing on in the spring, I hope to see you in another class. If you're visiting us from another program, please feel free to stop by HSA and take another class. We'd love to have you join us again. And I wish everyone continued luck in their respective programs. Have a great holiday season. Happy New Year, and we'll see everyone in the discussions this week. Thanks so much.